will fly at this location.
Hey, how's it going everyone? This is DCSU81 and today we are going to take a look at some comparison review for this SH Figuarts, the Street Fighter 5 Chun-Li versus the Jada Toys Street Fighter 2 Ultra Chun-Li. As you guys know, I like to do comparison, especially for the same characters from different brands. We can really see the difference here. So let's start right away with the overall look. As you can see, wow, this is very different. At first I thought it would be almost similar, like this Jada toy is copying from the SH Figuarts, because this figure was released in 2017, which is like 6 years ago. But they are two from different universe. Like I said, this is from Street Fighter 2 Ultra and this is for Street Fighter 5, so this is like a newer versions of Chun-Li. So let's take a closer look, and there is no sayings that which one is more accurate because they are both from a different one. But you can see that the costume is almost very similar, and this time around I do feel that the SH Figuarts feels kind of cheap, because you can see that the paint and even the costume is just flat, you know, it's a smooth surface. But this one from Jada toy, it does have texturized and the paint just looks pretty good. And I'm not sure whether it's showing on the camera, but the SH Figuarts one, I think the paints kind of like deteriorate, especially on the shoulder. You can see the one on her chest area, the blue is darker, and the blue on the shoulder is like getting lighter, and here is also still the same color. I'm not sure when I first got it, is it the same color, but now I do notice there are paint differences already. And again, even for the tights, paint is a bit different, and the shoe looks pretty similar. And actually the costume, I think they didn't change much, it's the same design after all. And at the back, yeah, it's almost very similar. And one thing that I do notice is, like I mentioned in my review, this one from Jada Toys is soft, and this one from SH Figuarts is hard plastic, and even this portion here is hard, but the one from Jada Toys is soft, so it doesn't really hinder any of the articulation. But because of this one is flowing up, so it's not hindering any of the articulations as well. And as for the face, of course you can see the SH Figuarts one looks more feminine, but this one from the Jada toy looks like a man with a bun. And even the build of it, somehow I think she looks like a bit like the man, if not because of the small waist. But then again, in terms of proportionally, I do think that this one looks more accurate to a human being, but this one just feels a bit weird. It's like she have a very huge lower half body, and this one just getting very tiny, and it's these are just cartoon characters, so maybe it doesn't matter. And as for the skin tone, yeah, as we know, the SH Figuarts one is always more pale, but the one from the Jada toys is more closer to the normal human skin tone. And this portion here for the Jada toy is okay, but for the SH Figuarts is rather sharp, so be very careful. And I do notice one thing though, the one from the SH Figuarts is not removable, but the one from Jada toys, yep, you can actually remove it. Yep, see. So let's move on to the articulation. I will list out what's the difference between these two. For the SH Figuarts, this one I forgot to mention is actually movable, so it won't hinders any of the head's articulations, but the Jada toys is actually fixed on it, you can't really move that. And for the SH Figuarts, it does have a butterfly joints, which the Jada toy doesn't. However, for the arm, it's only a single joint elbow. The Jada toys have a double joint elbow. And for the SH Figuarts, in terms of the torso, is very similar. It also have the two-point articulations on the lower torso and also on the waist. Same goes for the Jada toy, if I'm not wrong. Let's see, yeah, it's the same. And for the SH Figuarts, it doesn't have any cutting on the thigh for the shivers, but the Jada toy does have, even though it looks pretty ugly, but it's for the articulations. Again, the SH Figuarts have a single joint knee, while the Jada toys have a double joint knee. And then again, for the foots here, you can't really move for the SH Figuarts, but for the Jada toy you can actually turn on it. Okay, and last but not least, the Jada toy doesn't have any toe hinges, but the SH Figuarts does have the toe hinges. Yep, so that's pretty much different in terms of the costume wise. These two pieces is actually soft. Same goes for the SH Figuarts. And next we'll move on to the accessory. I will start with Jada toys because she comes with lesser accessory. So for the hand, she only comes with a pair of closed fist hand and this pair of karate chops hands. Which for the SH Figuarts, she does comes with the same pair of hands plus a pair of relaxed hands and also a pair of open palms hands. As for the head, the Jada toy does comes with these angry expressions plus another open mouth heads. But for the SH figure, she just comes with these angry expressions, plus two more faceplate, which is the smiling one and also the open mouth one. These are just the faceplate, it's not a complete head. And last but not least, both of them does comes with this kicking effects part for Chun-Li, and as you can see, it's very different. The one from Jada toy is actually a soft rubber. Yep, like I mentioned, it's very nice. But the one for the SH figures is actually a plastic. Okay, it's a hard plastic. It can be broken up into smaller pieces, you can assemble it back, and it just feels very fragile. I dare not to drop this thing. I'm sure this sharp parts will actually break, and it's rather tricky to actually put on her as well, as compared to the Jada toys. You just need to slide the legs in and that's about it. You can actually put it on any of the effects you wanted to, but this one is just over here. You can only put it on this portion, the legs. The rest is just blank. It's very tricky to put it on. And not to forget, the SH Figuarts does give an extra backdrop, which is a cardboard for you to actually pose in. Okay, so this is how it looks like with the effects part, and both of them actually looks pretty good. And you must be wondering what's with the different color, which one is more accurate and things like that. As I mentioned earlier, both of these Chun-Li are from different Street Fighter. So as you can see on Street Fighter 5, the kicking effects is yellow, while on the Street Fighter 2 is on blue. So yes, both of them are actually accurate, and like I say, it looks pretty good. Okay, next we'll take a look at the size comparison, and from the look of it, both of them seems to be in the same scale, as you can see. Yep, so this is actually pretty good. I was actually expecting this Jada toys to be bigger because SH figure is always smaller, but yeah, it seems to be on the very good scale here. And next, of course, we'll talk about the pricing. This figures was released in 2017, so I can no longer remember how much I bought her for. But this one is kind of cheap. It's like a Marvel Legends price. So I still think that the SH figure is probably more expensive than this one. I mean, I'm pretty sure, but I'm not sure how big the gap is. Maybe it's not that big because during 6 years ago, SH figures might not be as expensive as today. Yeah, so it could be a very small gap. But then again, of course, the SH figures is still at a higher price range. Okay, so my final thoughts for the comparison is that while the SH figures looks pretty good for a 6-year figures, and I believe that the pricing back then wasn't that expensive, so it's still worthwhile to get her. But this new Jada toys is giving the SH Figuarts fans a run for their money, because while this is a lot more affordable, you can also see that the quality is actually not too bad. The details are there. Yes, it's kind of lacking when it comes to the accessories, but the kicking effect is pretty good, and the articulation is not too far off from the SH Figuarts. Yes, I'm aware that the SH figure is making a 2.0 of this Chun-Li, but it looks rather similar, and I believe the price is of course a lot higher than 6 years ago. I'm not so sure if that upgrades will be able to compete with these much more affordable ones. The only best thing that I see from the SH figures as compared to this Jada toy is at least this Chun-Li looks a lot more feminine as compared to this one here. Other than that, yeah, if I'm on budget, I would still think that I will go for the Jada toys because it's really worthwhile of the money spent, while the SH figure is always a lot more high-end collectibles as compared to the others. So I do hope that these comparisons do give you an insight on how these Jada toys compete with the SH figures, and I do hope that it gives you a rough idea on which one you should pick up if you are big fans of Chun-Li. And I'll catch you guys again in my next video.